Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Hump Day Hotline on the Buffalo Rumblings Vidcast Network, presented by Picasso's Pizza. Treat yourself to the most flavorful pizza on game day, which is tomorrow. Sterls, tomorrow is game day. Picasso's, we are Buffalo Pizza, shipping local and nationwide. Order online at picassospizza.net. My name is Joe Miller. I'm the co-host of this here wonderful show that's been going for about 3.5 years. And that guy over there is my special guest co-host, filling in for Jay Spence the King, who's on assignment, on location. Sterls for the girls. How are you?
You already know, man. What's up, Joe? Thank you for throwing that in there. I appreciate it.
You did tell me how you're doing, and I thought I would find some cool way to work it in, but I'm not. You just dropped not a bomb on me, but you dropped an eye-opening statement. What did you tell me literally 3 seconds before we went live?
That I'm not sleeping tonight. I will not get any sleep tonight. It's basically it's Christmas Eve, and it's like looking at the tree and you know all the big presents are yours. That's what it's like.
All the big presents. I am immediately taken back to last year, the Steelers game, home opener, season opener, and that energy that we all had pregame. The tailgate, I've got vivid memories of you and me sitting on the tailgate of my truck drinking mimosas, talking about the Bills just rolling people this year, and Josh Allen being that guy, like he's that guy, and the confidence that and the swag that you had in your voice, telling another Bills fan, another content creator, about how good Josh Allen was, and then they went out and laid an egg.
Okay. But he's still that good. And I was drunk. I was drunk by 8. So anything past 8 o'clock, I mean, I don't recall from drinking shots out of a bowling ball, which you were there. I got pictures of that. I mean, yeah. And then when I'm there next week, I'm going harder this year to avenge last year's loss. So I might be drunk by 7, even though the Bills play at night. So there's that for you.
That's hysterical. I'm one of those fans who will take a casual drink and have a casual drink pregame, but I don't want to be dizzy during the football game. I want to remember every moment. Like for me, it's just that's funny to me that you're like, I'm gonna be drunk by 7.
You sound like one of those dudes who eats fig Newtons by taking little bites.
I sound like a dude that's a 49-year-old father. That's what I sound like. I sound like a 49-year-old dad. That's it, because that's what I am. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Hump Day Hotline. Yes, so we are Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live. Like and subscribe, whatever platform you're on, whether you're watching this live right now or listening to it in podcast form on Game Day Thursday. I don't think anybody would watch it or listen to this on Friday. Maybe they will. A whole bunch of cool people up in the room. My mom is in the room, so my mom says hello.
Oh, hey, Miss Clark, how you doing, girl? Shoot. Joe, I know you had it like that now.
Jessica Tennis is in the room. DH is in the room. Seth is in the room. Richard Rush, Karen Idzik, the British Bulldog. Oh, I wonder if that's the real British Bull. No, they're the British Bulldog.
He's dead.
There was 2 of them. Were there 2 of them? Were they the British Bulldogs, or was it just the?
No, it's the British Bulldog. He's dead, man. Rest in peace to my guy.
Apparently not. Apparently he's not dead.
Bill Dog.
Oh, the British Bill Dog. Okay, never mind. Jason Humbert's in the room. Tracy's in the room. It's good to see all of you. If I missed anybody, I apologize. What we like to say up in here is hump that like, because it is hump day. So jump on that like button, get our metrics up, and hey, tweet, retweet, whatever. Tell a friend that you're in the comment section with us. We are Super Chat Live. So if you want to ask us a question or if you want to get our attention, please Super Chat us, and we'll do our best to kind of go through the comments. We're going to do our first score prediction, and Josh Allen stat line prediction for 2022 on this show here in about 45 minutes. But with that, what are you most excited for right now? Like what has you geeked out to see? Like, what is the one thing that you're like, I just need to see this?
Well, first of all, I got to say that I didn't know your mom was that pretty, Joe. So she's clouding my thoughts, man.
I think I just lost. Do you still have me? Because I think I just lost my camera.
Yeah, well, I don't have you. You're stale, but
you've got my audio though, right?
I got your audio, so I guess you'll come back to us in a second.
Yes, I'll keep working on this.
But you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me your mom was a whole dot, man.
Yeah, my mom's she's a pretty woman. She's a pretty I don't know what's gonna happen here. So so let's get to our first. Now I'm totally sideways because my camera stopped working. So today, and I'm gonna let you go.
Oh, you're back.
Hey!
You're back.
Technology. Today, the Bills and Dawson Knox agreed to a contract extension worth $53.6 million with $31 million guaranteed per reports. It's an extra 4 years. So it isn't his final year plus 3. It's his final year plus 4. So he's going to be here for 5 more years. 53.6, 31 guaranteed. I think it's 14 million a year. Where are you at on this? Because I got thoughts.
I like the signing, but man, it just makes me go, how are we gonna get everybody else under contract? Now, the only one, and I'll just be frank here, the only one that I'm really concerned about that I really want back is Ed Oliver.
Right.
Now, I love Tremaine, I love Jordan Poyer, but they're replaceable positions.
Yes.
Easier
to replace. Let's be honest, easier to replace than tight end. Dawson Knox with these next 5 years is going to not has the chance to. He's going to go down as the best tight end in Buffalo Bills history, and he's not Travis.
He already is.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, he's not Travis Kelce. He's not Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
He's just better than Jay Reamersma and Pete Metzler's.
Man.
And Scott Chandler.
I used to love Jay Reamersma, man.
Who didn't?
It was a Michigan guy, so I loved him. But
here we go.
Here we go. No. So, but I love the signing. I'm glad, Dawson's been, he had a tumultuous offseason. I mean, just a recent incident that happened, just a few weeks ago. Yeah, so, I mean, it's cool to see him get some generational wealth.
Yeah.
But I think, when Brandon Beane goes into this, I think they're expecting him to have a bigger year than he had last year. And they wanted to get that contract done before that contract is no longer affordable. That's what I think it is. I mean, because we don't know how much they're going to be going to 21 personnel, but with added weapons to this offense, I mean, you can't cover everybody. And so maybe Dawson Knox is taking the next step, even as a route runner, to where he's getting paid top 5 tight end money. Maybe he becomes one of those top 5 tight ends we talk about in the league.
I think this year he could potentially be a top 3. Mark Andrews is going to be that guy just because there's nobody else in Baltimore catching passes, unless Lamar Jackson, and maybe we could talk about this if we have time, set a deadline that he needs a deal done by Friday, or what? They don't do a deal, or he's not playing. That's the part I don't have. What is the deadline? Do you know what the deadline is?
I'm not sure what the deadline is, but it shouldn't even come down to a deadline with Lamar Jackson, man. Why don't you just pay the dude?
Because he wants guaranteed money. He wants it all. I
don't blame him.
He wants.
But is that really why? I mean, we don't know.
His mom is his agent, and my mom is in the room, and she would probably tell you that I deserve all the money from you.
Yeah, she would.
She's like, Joe gets all the money, and that's basically what Lamar's mom is doing right now. And he wants it all guaranteed. But regardless, so Mark Andrews is the only guy that's going to be catching passes for that offense, pretty much. And then you've got, Kelce's going to be Kelce. Do we expect a drop off at some point? Maybe not. Maybe not this year. Maybe this year we start to see him slip a little bit. Kittle has kind of waned a little bit the last year or two. I think Dawson has an opportunity to be in that 3 or 4 slot. For the Buffalo Bills.
He's got to beat out Darren Waller. I don't think he's there just yet.
I don't know that Darren did. I don't know that he made he was injured. Was he injured last year? I don't think he made the noise.
He's always injured. But Darren Waller, he's a complete package. Dawson Knox is too, but
yeah.
Darren Waller's done a little more, obviously.
Yeah.
At this point, he's better.
Dawson just embodies everything that the Bills covet from a personnel standpoint, with just his character, his faith, where he came from, the family that he came from, his unselfishness on the field, which he talked about in his presser. I'm just here to do whatever I need to do. I'm here to block if I need to block. I'm here to be a decoy if I need to be a decoy. I need to catch, and I'll catch balls if I need to catch balls. I love the risk that they took. They took all of his character. They took all of his potential. They took all of the up and to the right that he potentially had and took a chance on him. A kid that didn't catch a touchdown in college, right? So, and they took a chance and said, we're going to draft you in the 3rd round. I believe it was the 3rd round. And he's paid dividends, and now he's going to get paid mucho dividends.
Yeah, I think another missing element, it shows how much the Bills value relationship.
Yeah, agreed.
And I think, a lot of football fans and analysis is that something that's not going to be talked about. But this is a team that values relationship, and that relationship between Josh Allen and Dawson Knox and Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott, it's important. It's one of the reasons why the Bills, in my opinion, are one of the top teams in the NFL, because they have that foundation and they value relationship.
What's funny, sidebar. So I was at Mulberry last year. I think it was, I don't remember when it was. It was preseason, I believe, but the Bills were not at camp, or maybe they were at camp. I can't remember exactly how it worked out. But Pat Moran from the Talking Buffalo Pod was there doing a wing thing. Nate Geary was there. Matt Perino was there. I wasn't on microphone. I was just there to be there because I like to be around people that are talking about Bill stuff. And I'm good friends with Pat, and they're in a segment where they're talking about Dawson Knox. And is it a make or break year for Dawson last year before 2021? Is he going to show up, talking about some of his faults? And I would say that it wasn't going the way that our conversation is going, where it was like, Dawson's the man. Like, he just got paid buku bucks. Like, so they're kind of, they're not disparaging him, but it was real talk. It was objective conversation. The dude walks in the door. I crap you not. I shit you not. The dude walked in the door. So Pat's sitting there talking. They're like having this conversation. It's like, oh, there's Dawson Knox right there. Like, Dawson just walked in the restaurant.
So my question is, at that point, what did you do?
I was like, that's Dawson Knox.
Did you go there and talk to him?
No, he was with his girlfriend, and they sat down and had dinner. So I just sat there continuing to chow down on some of the most delicious chicken wings I've ever eaten.
Okay, that's fair. I wouldn't have gone over there either.
Yeah, he's a big old boy. But it's exciting. And just to know that piece is in the fold. I've done several pods, basically, 4 men enter, 3 men leave, which comes down to the guys that the Bills have, like, that are contracts that are coming up. And there's potentially, we don't think any way that they're going to be able to get all of them signed. Knox, Oliver, probably my 2 biggest. Is there a third one in there that I mean, Micah, we love Micah. He's getting older. Jordan, what does this do for the Jordan situation? Is Poyer, there's speculation all over Twitter and the radio right now that Poyer's gone.
I mean, haven't we learned that when it comes to cap space, it doesn't really exist to Brandon Beane? He knows how to manipulate the numbers and get the Bills, cap healthy to sign players. So, but yeah, you're right. I mean, he is getting older, and let's really be honest. Like, as much as we love Jordan Poyer and what they do is amazing, I'm not taking anything away from that, but that's the position that Sean McDermott and Leslie Frazier coach up the most, right? So I feel like you might not be able to get somebody to come in and replace that right away, but again, he had to develop these guys. It took 3 years really to get them playing at the level they're playing right now, and so you hate to see a guy like that leave.
That's the other one.
Right? Yeah. Thomas, what's up, man? Yeah, I just think that, we might have to say goodbye to Jordan Poyer, and I think, Tremaine Edmonds is going to get signed as well.
Well, and the scary part, and he's not up this year. The Bills will pick up his 5th-year option, but when you Ed Oliver, if Ed Oliver loses his mind this season,
which he's
probably going to, with Daquan Jones next to him and Von Miller out there and Greg Rousseau, who Von Miller is already saying is that guy. The last time the Bills had a defensive tackle that they drafted, that they paid a contract to, it was $100 million. And that was 10 years ago?
Marcel Darius, man.
Mr. Big Stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Who was my daughter's favorite player for a very long time, Mr. Big Stuff. That contract could break the bank. Ed Oliver's contract alone could be, oh no, right? And that's not even including Tremaine Edmonds.
Let's just say he gets 8 sacks this year. That's pretty big for him.
That's big.
That's big. I think he could do that.
I think he probably should do that, yes?
He better. It's time. It is freaking time. He's shown so many flashes even last year. He's my favorite player going into the season that I think is going to have the biggest impact.
Right.
And he's going to feast. He's going to feast tomorrow night. So
I'm I'm excited to see him next to Daquan. Because Starla Tulole was very disinterested. He didn't play, obviously, 2 years ago, the COVID year.
Right.
And then last year he came in light and was a little disinterested, it seemed, in playing football, which affects Ed Oliver. So when you saw Ed Oliver his rookie season, we might get a 2-year step jump, right? Over what he was his rookie year. So good stuff as far as Dawson Knox goes, and it's exciting, and I think all of Bills Mafia is happy to have him back. I don't think anybody would want him to go anyplace else. So under the category of Wildest Dreams Land, which is a phrase that I have coined, #WildestDreamsLand, the Bills are favored almost unanimously across all national media members except Nick Wright. Clearly not Nick Wright.
He's a hater.
Yeah, to not only go to the Super Bowl, but to win, to be Super Bowl champions. I'm sure you saw it. I'm sure most of the people watching or listening saw that everybody on NFL Network, all 6 of them, picked the Bills to win the Super Bowl. Everybody everywhere is picking the Bills not only to go, but to win. We are a fan base that, and I'm one of them, that has been screaming about respect for 20 years. So when the Bills would win a game 10 years ago, we would get the 30-second clip on all the highlight shows versus the 3.5-minute clip that the Cowboys get, right? Even in a loss. The level of respect we're getting right now is something we've probably never seen. How do you feel about that?
I don't like it. I'll tell you that right now.
That seems to be everybody's feeling.
That means we're not winning the Super Bowl. It totally means we're not winning the Super Bowl.
I don't think that's
I just want to brace all y'all. I'm telling you right now, I hate to be a bearer of bad news, but
it's over.
Who thought 13 seconds would happen?
I was there. I didn't think so.
Oh, I know. I know.
I don't want to tell you that story. Have I told you that story?
Yeah.
I'm sitting next to a Chiefs fan who was an awesome dude. All around us were Chiefs fans that were not awesome dudes. The dude next to me was awesome. He was very ingratiating. He was very complimentary of the Bills, was very a realist, talked about the problems that the Chiefs had. And we just had great conversation with this dude did. The Bills take the lead. And I looked at him and I was like, yeah, but he's like, oh, here we go. It's over. I was like, dude, Pat Mahomes is over there. Pat Mahomes is on your sideline. Sure enough, Pat Mahomes goes straight down the field. They score a touchdown. And I was like, I told you. He goes, yeah, but freaking Josh Allen is the other guy. Josh Allen goes straight down the field. And as soon as he did, the dude left.
Yeah.
He split 13 seconds left.
Joe, I don't know why you're doing this. You are, it's abuse what you're doing right now. And making us live through that. It's like everybody knows where they were when
this is the moment I need to play the Von Miller video.
Dude, oh my God.
Just burn
it all, bro.
I was gonna rip it down and show it during this
Why
show.
would you do that?
What, to burn it?
No, I thought you were talking about the 13 seconds. I'm like, no.
I was just talking about what an awesome dude he was and the fact that I was there and we were going back and forth. And then the dude split. And I was like, where are you going? He goes, it's over. I'm like, Pep. And the dude bolted. He just dipped. I was like, all right. Anyways, I don't know how I feel about the level of respect that we're getting either. I don't think it means that we're not winning the Super Bowl. I know that's
it does. I don't know how you're gonna look at it. When Vegas says you're gonna win the Super Bowl, you might as well. You don't. It's not gonna happen.
When you I want to parlay this. I want to translate this topic of the respect that we're getting into something that you don't know that I'm going to talk about. Because as much as we had a little bit of text conversation about some of the topics for this show, this is not something that I brought up. I brought it up I was a guest on a show last night, and I think I brought it up on Monday or Sunday, possibly. I want to roll it into this conversation. Because when you talk about the respect, and if you just stop for a second and objectively look at our roster, which is, I think, what all the national talking heads are doing. They're borderline objectively looking at the roster, and they're going, holy crap, Josh Allen, right? 3-headed monster at running back. They don't have the guy, but they've got 3 guys that can do all the things the guy should be able to do. And then there's a question mark with James Cook, who could potentially be the guy, maybe not this year, whatever. Tight end, locked in. Wide receivers, super deep. Offensive line, better than last year. Roger Saffold And the fact that they've solidified Ryan Bates makes that offensive line way better than it was last year. Period. End of story. I'm not having this conversation with anybody else. Mitch Morse is not a problem. And there's a lot of people that wanted him cut and wanted him released that have walked that back, right? Mitch Morse is the guy. And then you go to the defensive side of the ball. They've revamped that entire defensive line and cut loose Vernon Butler and cut loose Mario Adams, guys that they paid money to that didn't work out. They got Daquan Jones. They got Tim Settle, who's freaking awesome. They brought Lawson back, who's an edge setter. We saw it in preseason. The dude setting the edge the way that only he seems to be able to do. Why he didn't stick in Miami, I don't know. Why he didn't stick in New York with the Jets, I don't know. Obviously, we have a little bit of a hiccup with Trey being out. Do I believe that McDermott can hide Dane Jackson, who's a sound tackler? All that to say, we still got, and then we got Von Miller on top of it. All that to say, this team is better. This roster is better. So where I'm going with all this, when you look at this schedule and you go game by game, we used to do it, right? 10 years ago, 12 years ago, the schedule come out. All Bills fans are like, that's a win. That's a win. That's a loss. That's a win. Loss. I think can we beat the pay? Like we go through it. When you look at that schedule, ask yourself honestly, is there a game on that schedule that we can't win? Cannot win.
No, the Bills can win every game, but it's not realistic.
Peter Schrager, who I'm not the biggest fan of, I love Kyle Brandt. Peter Schrager yesterday on Good Morning Football called the Bills a freight train.
Yeah, they are.
The Bills are a freight train.
Here, let me rain on the parade, and I don't mean to be negative.
Well, the comment is, do you think it's possible for this Bills team to go undefeated?
Hell no, God no. You don't want that. You do not want that as a Bills fan. And look, if the Bills, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, call it a hot take or whatever, but if the Bills are going to make Super Bowl, they need to lose 5 games.
5?
5.
What are the 5? Because I'm not.
It doesn't matter. Who counted the freaking Jags last year?
I'm not. The Jags would be the opposite of what I'm about to say. I'm not okay with the people that are calling the 5 losses 5 really good football teams. Because if you can't beat any of the 5 really good football teams on your roster or on your schedule, you're not beating them in the postseason. It's not happening.
Hey, Sean McDermott and the Carolina Panthers went 15-1, lost to the Super Bowl to Von Miller.
The New England Patriots went 16-0.
16-0 and lost to the Giants.
That doesn't.
Right?
But the Miami Dolphins went 15-0.
That was back when they had leather heads.
Or 16. They went 16-0, right?
Yeah.
Season games.
Doesn't even matter. The Dolphins fans will remind you every day that they have an undefeated season, which nobody really cares.
I expect the Bills to lose 4 games this season. I expect the Bills to lose 1 or 2 games inside the division.
But you just balked at my 5 games.
No. I did not balk at your 5. What I said was I qualified. All
right, fair.
What are the 5?
I don't know. But they're gonna, if they lose 5. Let me pull up the schedule. I'll tell you.
No, 5 is good. And if you're saying you don't know, that's good as well. What I don't want to hear.
I think we lose to the Dolphins once.
Well, hang on. I don't want to hear we lose 5 games and it's going to be the Chiefs, the Bengals, right? The Green Bay Packers, like all the good teams on the schedule. That's what I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear that. Well, if you're telling me that we can't beat the 5 best teams on our schedule, why even go to the playoffs at that point?
Hey man, it's a week-to-week league, man. That's the thing, and it's hard. It's hard, and I think it's harder. I think the Bills, they're going to be beating themselves. They're going to beat themselves this year. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. It's hard to stay up and be the dominant team every single week. You're going to catch an L.
It's a ridiculous take. Can the Bills go undefeated? So
it's valid.
Before people take to Twitter and be like, Joe Miller just said the Bills are going undefeated. But it's a ridiculous take. My point is, if you look at the schedule, every team on that schedule is beatable by the Bills.
Colin Cowherd said the Ravens were going to go undefeated last year. And then everybody got injured. Not laughing at all the players that got injured. I'm just saying. And they
didn't have a wide receiver.
I'm just saying. Right. Yeah. So I it's hard, man, because like we're so accustomed to being bad, right? Like it's hard to be the pretty dude in the room. Joe, I know you are used to being the pretty dude in the room, and I'm just trying to. I'm here, and I'm just trying to, carve my place in this reality.
It looks like every other Irish dude on the planet. We all look like we're brothers. Every one of us. And
listen.
You see how white my skin is? I just got back from the beach. You see how white my skin is?
You might look like a toasted Triscuit. All I'm saying. All I'm saying, buddy. It's just hard. It's hard. It's a whole mindset change. And I can't imagine what it's like being a player, having that pressure on them all the time.
Sterling, you need to choose love right now.
It's all love between me and you all the time. Always.
Toasted Triscuit. I'm taking another drink. So where do we go from here? I guess the point that I'm trying to make is we're getting back to the respect thing, right? It was odd to me to listen to Kay Adams, who I love. I loved Good Morning Football when Kay and Nate were there. It's never going to be the same. Is it good right now? It's okay. I'm not a big fan of Jason McCourty. I don't know the other girl's name, the new girl, but she's good. She's got some Kay Adams kind of spunk to her, which is great. Never been a fan of Peter Schrager. Brant is Brant. He's on the wagon. Whether he's paid to be on the wagon or he's really on the wagon, we don't know. But for 2 years, when it started in 20, when the Bills came out hot and Josh Allen was like lighting the league on fire, it took everything that Schrager and Kay Adams had to pay the Bills a compliment. Even when Josh Allen was losing his mind, 300 yards, 400 yards, 300 yards, 5 touchdowns, right? Just crazy stuff. She's like, yeah, but, last year, here comes Tua. Wasn't it last year?
It's Tua's going to be great. This year too.
Tua's coming. That's what it was. Peter Schrager. Tua's coming. Tua's coming.
So is Jesus.
Right.
I mean,
so to hear Peter Schrager under his breath at the closing of the segment say they're a freight train, I was like, oh, okay. Because that to me wasn't, I'm supposed to take a side because it's TV, or I'm supposed to argue this way or argue that way. That was literally him being like, they're going to be a problem for football teams. Yeah. And everybody's bringing up this conversation. I had a conversation on Twitter today. It was annoying. This football team last year they didn't beat any winning teams. It was like, well, we were 2-4 against teams that went to the playoffs. Oh, by the way, that was a Nick Wright statement, right? However, what isn't included in that is, as much as we had a little bit of difficulty during the season, 2-4 against teams that went to the playoffs, the Bills led the league in margin of victory against all the other crap teams they played. They were crushing teams. Right. So I don't know that those offset each other. I don't think it's like one is a problem and one is not. And then when you look at the year before, the Bills were 5-1 against teams that went to the playoffs. So I don't.
And have you heard about, the Bills can't close out games?
Yes.
That's another narrative that's been thrown around. But if you look at season before, we were killing, one-score games, close games. And, I think that's a luck factor, right? Every team. That's my guy, man. I love him. Oh, Terrell is my guy.
Terrell's the man.
So yeah, I just think that, there's the luck element. But here's what I think that, and I don't want to sound very cliche when I say this, but I think that's where Von Miller comes in, because he's been there, he's done it. So he has the clout to look at Josh Allen in the face and say, no, man, like this, we ain't there yet. We got this, and this to do. But he's going to play on the field, get that sack on 4th down that we need to close out a game and go, this is how you do it. There's
so many things I want to say. From a leadership standpoint, a great leader is also a great follower.
Absolutely.
I think you know that. Von Miller in his press conference this week was talking. They were trying to pin him on Aaron Donald. Have you given any information to Ken Dorsey in the offense on how to, blah, 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 Aaron Donald? And he's like, you know what? We got great players too. We got Josh Allen. Do you realize, like, Von Miller is a Josh Allen fan?
Oh yeah.
Period. Not to mention the fact that Von Miller is ready, multiple Super Bowl champion, future Hall of Famer. Von Miller just signed a $166 million contract, is ready to follow that 26-year-old man into battle. Not lead him into battle or stand beside him. He's ready to follow Josh Allen onto the field of battle, right? So Von Miller brings an aspect. So the conversation that I had with this guy on Twitter, and he might be watching right now, and it was a fun conversation. It is what it is. This team hasn't gotten better. And I'm just like,
what?
If this number one defense plays better, which they're going to because they got better. To me, I don't know who you're losing to on that schedule. And then it turns into the respect thing.
That's tough, Joe.
Is cornerback going to be a problem? Well, so we can transition now to this game, right? The one that we're about to play. And it's about matchups. One of those key matchups that everybody's talking about is Cooper Kupp. How are they going to slow down Cooper Kupp? Dane Jackson, Kair Elam, maybe Christian Benford, 6th-round pick.
Right.
McDermott isn't sure who's going to play first, start, and play more snaps, which is just a head game that he's playing with the Rams. Kair Elam is going to start this football game and play most of it. But at the end of the day, you know who's covering Cooper Kupp? Taron Johnson, because Kupp is the slot receiver. And Taron Johnson is what? The 8th-ranked corner in the NFL?
Or but Cooper Kupp is...
Agreed. Agreed.
And here's the unique thing about the Rams offense. They do so much stuff pre-snap, and they get guys going in motion, and they create confusion. So guys are going in a direction when the ball's being snapped.
Right.
Like that. And it causes so much confusion for defenders. And then you got to look at the run game. It's like you're going to need Matt Milano and Tremaine Edmonds to be so disciplined in their run fits, right? Because they're going to do this inside zone, outside zone, and they're going to misdirection. They have to be sound in their run fits. They gotta be. It's not going to be a walk in the park, even though the Bills have a number one defense, and I think a lot of that is because we played bad teams last year.
That's true.
They're gonna get tested. They will get tested, and the Rams will score. I mean, they run a lot of screens. I think they're one of the highest teams in percentage-wise when it comes to, window dressing and having guys motion at the snap. They're one of the, it's his specialty. And on top of that, the way McVay calls plays is that he builds on it. So he shows you one look, and then it's like he's showing you the same look, and then all of a sudden it's a post corner, and you're toast, right? So that's where the concern comes in. Right, that's where the concern comes in for Dane Jackson, Kair Elam. Mm-hmm. Because they're younger corners.
Yeah, but we know what the Bills are going to do because they did it with Levi and Dane Jackson and always have. The only corner they haven't done it with is Trey. They're going to make them keep everything in front of them. Let them catch the football, then tackle them. That'll be the game plan.
Yeah, they're going to have to, because if you blitz Matthew Stafford, he's going to eat you up, right? So you have to get pressure with 4, and that's where Von Miller comes in, and that's where Ed Oliver comes in, and he's going up against. Get this, my man's going up against what's his name? What's his name?
That's enough right
Coleman
there.
Shelton.
Well, Andrew Whitworth isn't on that offensive line either.
Joe Noteboom is starting to left tackle, and my man Coleman Shelton. So first of all, Coleman, you didn't get a good name. First of all, like you sound, his name sounds like a pack of paper. That's like a pack of paper company, Coleman Shelton.
I think
or some attorneys. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like.
I think Coleman is a cooler, actually.
Coleman Shelton and Associates. Like that's what it sounds like to me. Okay, so yeah, I think that's what. So when we talk about matchups, I think Ed Oliver versus Coleman Shelton, CS. I think that's a big deal. I think Ed Oliver has to eat him up. Has to.
That's not the only big deal. As much as people want to start talking about Von Miller and has he lost a step and he's not the player that he was, and it was ridiculous to give him all that money. I witnessed with my own eyes with Joe Marino standing next to me at Bill's training camp, them doing one-on-one drills between the edge rushers and the tackles. And Fina talks all the time about the most important thing for a tackle is that first punch, right? Mm-hmm. The amount of times I saw Von Miller do something where the tackle did nothing but grab air.
He's so slippery.
Von Miller was gone. He was around him and gone. Spencer Brown, Deion Dawkins, any guy that you want to put out there, he was just like, whoop, 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 gone.
Oh, yeah. He's so slippery, man.
Right.
Like he has a pass rush arsenal that how many guys have the arsenal that he has? And he's so bendy around the edge. He is unreal.
Yeah.
And that's where, okay. And so, so I look at it like this. If Von Miller, or let's start with Ed Oliver. If Ed Oliver, right, can get his one-on-one, Daquan Jones can handle. He's going to take 2.
He's going to take 2.
Yep. So now Russo and Von Miller are one-on-one. So if
which Von Miller has never seen.
Right. So let me tell you what's going to happen. So, all right. So you look at the Rams depth chart. So you got Rob Havenstein at right tackle, right, and Joe Noteboom at left tackle. So what they did. So if you go, I was watching film this week. So I was like, okay, let me find a team that I think that might resemble the Bills' attack on defense,
right,
based off of personnel and so forth. So I watched the Bucs game. And what they did was, and I think you're going to see a lot of this tomorrow night, you're going to see them go a lot of empty sets. They can get the screen game going out of empty set using a running back in the slot. Right. And they're going to dink and dunk you to death. And then they're going to build on everything. And then they're going to hit you one deep or hit you with an out that's a deep end or something like that. And here we go. The Bills play nickel cover 2. And that's, the weakness of that defense is up the seam and in the middle. Right.
Yep.
So Tremaine Edmonds, he's 6'5". Like, this is where his importance comes in. A lot of people don't talk about is that his ability to, you're not going to be able to attack the middle as much as you would as a normal linebacker would. Well, right.
If I can sneak in just for a second, Tremaine Edmonds is also potentially going to see for the first time in his career a clean opportunity with no offensive lineman on him 3 seconds or 2 seconds after the snap. Right.
Yep. Yeah. So they got to be disciplined.
Right.
Got to be disciplined.
They're going to have to find their gaps. They're going to have to shoot their gaps all the way to the D gap, right? If they're running a wide zone, which is what the Rams. So the Rams are going to run effectively more than likely tomorrow, or semi-effectively, the run scheme that the Bills tried to run many times over the last couple of years and just couldn't do because all their dudes, and you and I have talked about this at length on different shows, because the Bills are pin and pull guys. That's what they are. They're just pin and pull guys, which that's another conversation. As I back down, it was just 2 years ago. It wasn't like it was 5 years ago, and it was different coaches and different players. The Bills played the Rams 2 years ago. Yes, Matthew Stafford was not there. However, by and large, these rosters were very, very similar.
Yeah.
And to me, the Bills getting up 28-3 means something. The Bills losing that lead also means something. Except for the fact that the defense is going to be, I hope and expect, and I think you do too, way better than that 2020 defense was, right?
Yeah, and so if you go back and look at that game, the Bills had no pass rush, none.
Right.
And you let Jared Goff, oh my God, and he's buns to me, but they let him hang around, and Robert Woods and those guys, they made him pay, right? I thought the Rams, they won by scheme at that point because they really didn't have the players that they do now. They won by scheme.
Right.
Sean McVay, it will scheme you to death with X's and O's, and the players that he has on his roster, if they're okay players, they're good players. And if they're good players, they're great players. So because of his scheme and his versatility, he makes players better. Mm-hmm. Now, does Sean McDermott do that? We could say he does that on defense. Can Dorsey do that on offense? And that's where we got to see that.
Do we want to stop? I mean, we're talking about matchups, but so one of the matchups that I pinned down on Sunday was that nobody's talking about is it's a very sexy matchup: Sean McVay versus Sean McDermott. Yeah, like young, offensive genius, right? The guy versus the young defensive genius. Like, there's a matchup there that nobody's talking about right now that I think is a great storyline. So as much as we're talking about matchups, do we want to stop and break down what you were just talking about, even just for a moment?
Yeah. These are, I think Sean McVay is the best offensive mind in football. And I think Sean McDermott is one of the best minds on defense. Right. And it's going to be a slugfest, man. And I think that McDermott can't go into this game conservative.
Agreed.
Even though you don't want to blitz Matthew Stafford, but at some point you have to use your blitz 4, but that needs to be exotic. You need to bring a Taron Johnson off the edge, or a Saron Neal coming off the edge, or something. You got to mix it up a little bit, right? Jordan Poyer or whoever. You just gonna have to. You got to confuse him. You got to get him off his first read and make him start looking around and cause confusion. But I think you're good enough. The Bills, we're now at a place I think we're good enough to where we could just send 4 and put everybody else back in coverage. That's how good the Bills defense is.
There's two things to me right now and it's still on the matchups conversation. There's two things to me that are wildly confusing. Number one, I posted my picks for this week, for week 1. I picked the Bears to beat the 49ers at home, getting 7 points. So you assume, right? They always give the home team 3.
Right.
And then the Bears are getting another 7. So the Bears are getting a ton of points at home against the 49ers. So the first confusing thing to me is why everybody believes, and we don't have to talk about this, that the Niners and Trey Lance are going to be this juggernaut. Oh my gosh. Did you really pick the Bears to beat the 49ers? With that quarterback, yeah. I haven't seen anything yet. We talked about it last week when I told you I haven't seen enough to trust him. Like, I don't trust Jalen Hurts, if you remember. And I said, I'm not sure that I trust Trey Lance yet. And you were like, that's fair. The other thing that I don't understand, getting back to matchups for this game, the love fest for Allen Robinson. I loved Allen Robinson as a Jacksonville Jaguar. I don't know that Allen Robinson isn't nothing more than what Julio Jones is right now. He could prove me wrong tomorrow.
Hold up.
He could prove me wrong tomorrow.
Okay, if you were a wide receiver for the Bears, would you find motivation to come to work every day?
Justin
Hell no.
Fields, he did a rookie that was.
He ain't got a choice. That man, he ain't got no money. He trying to get paid. He got to show up.
I know you're a Michigan fan, but as much as I believed and got shouted down from the rooftops by other Buffalo Rumblings people about Justin Fields, I said, I don't see what you guys see in Justin Fields. Oh my gosh. Everybody pined on about Justin Fields and are still pining on about Justin Fields. Justin Fields can throw a football. I don't know that he's going to be anything more than Marcus Mariota in the NFL. But Allen Robinson, to me, he looks like a shell of the player that he used to be when he was in Jacksonville.
I mean, he's had injuries, and
Jacksonville with Blake Bortles. He looks like a shell of the player he was.
Listen, let me tell you, for just the sake of tomorrow's game, okay, Allen Robinson better be damn Jerry Rice. Okay, that's how much respect we need to throw that man's way. Okay, you see the superstition coming out. You gotta have all the respect for Allen Robinson. Now we're gonna talk shit about him after the Bills play him. We're gonna talk all the shit about him. But for tonight, Allen Robinson is Jerry Rice to me. Okay.
Well, we're not even going as far as talking about Jefferson. Jefferson's not gonna. It looks like he's not gonna play, right?
Right. He's not. The injury report came out and he's not playing. So
Tyler Higbee, Cooper Kupp. Cam Akers is a maybe at this point. They're saying he's going to play, but who knows? So Darrell Henderson, most likely. Stafford he just had surgery on his elbow, which is not great. Dunk, I think, to your point, is the game plan for tomorrow. I think there's a great deal of, I don't know, man. What matchups? So I've talked about a crap ton of matchups. Where are you focused?
I want to see the trenches. That's what I want to see. I want to see the offensive line, how they, you got Spencer Brown on Leonard Floyd. And we know Spencer Brown struggled with athletic, pass rushers last year, right? Leonard Floyd is very bendy. He's fast off the edge. I want to see how he holds up. Can he? Now, Spencer Brown is an athlete in and of itself. Has he developed enough to where he can stymie Leonard Floyd? And then, okay, how many people are you going to send towards Aaron Donald?
That's actually a great segue because my very next topic is, what can the Bills do to neutralize Aaron Donald? Is this revamped offensive line up to the challenge?
Nothing. I would think you can.
Right.
But Roger Saffold knows him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Mitch Morse. I think, the Bills, here's the difference from last year. The Bills now have the athletes up front.
You said you watched that game from 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I had I had most of my DVR, I had most of my DVR memory hard drive saved with Bills games, and then I switched for DirecTV. I switched all of my boxes and lost all my games. So I don't have the Rams game from 2 years ago. What did the Bills do early when they got up 28-3? What did the Bills do early to, we'll use the word neutralize?
Josh Allen was just unreal. I mean, that's where Josh Allen's ability to be mobile comes into play because, and Josh Allen did some stupid shit in that game, right? And he was still learning and growing as a quarterback, which he's not stopped yet, but he was able to move in the pocket. And I think he's going to have to be able to do that because Aaron Donald is coming and you're going to send two. You got to put two on him. If you single him up, it's over. It's
Right.
done.
For
He
sure.
may hit you with a helmet during the play. He may have one
Or two.
or two. All right. So you need to be ready. You need to wear one of them cones or those practice helmets. You better have one in your pocket because he might swing at you.
That's hysterical. So what other matchups besides the trenches are you going to be keyed in on? Jalen Ramsey, Stephon Diggs?
I'm not. That's a wash. That's a wash. Gabriel Davis. That is, it's twofold.
He's
Gabriel
going to be
Davis.
Open. He's going to
be open, right?
He's going to be open.
He's. I want to see now. We know they talk about his work ethic, and I want to see how he shows up after that major game against Kansas City, right? So he's going to be going up against Troy Hill. Troy Hill's not an athlete. That man's slow. Devin Singletary slow. Devin Singletary slow, man.
We may have legitimately seen. There's a moment, right? There's like when you watch movies, there's a moment a lot of times where if it's an athletic type of a movie where like it happened, boom. Like we may have seen that in like when he did that move on the Chiefs corner and then went to the inside and the dude just fell down. It looked like something. It was literally primed for the sniper meme. Right. Have you seen the sniper memes where somebody shoots him and then the dude just falls over? I mean, he might be a monster in this game tomorrow. He could come out and get 150 yards receiving.
I'll tell you this. If you guys haven't bet, like who's going to score the Bills' first touchdown tomorrow is Gabriel Davis off top. I put money on somebody said they put their rent money on this game tomorrow, which I wouldn't do that, but you can put some money on Gabe Davis scoring the first touchdown.
You don't think it's going to be running back? You don't think the Bills get down?
No. I think it's Gabe Davis, man. I just have a gut feeling. And I want to see how my boy James Cook, I want to see how much he's utilizing in this game.
Right. What's interesting is Seth, and I haven't pulled up many comments tonight. How to slow down Aaron Donald? ? Let's get a running game going. Are you going to run it into Aaron Donald?
You got to. You have to show that you're not afraid, right?
Correct. I get
Keep
that.
Keep him honest.
I'm going out.
But you're going to have to run away from him. And I think, man, one thing that we have not seen the Bills do effectively is a really good screen game. And this is where James Cook comes into play.
Yes.
And I think if you can get them, because they're going to be aggressive. I think they're going to be somewhat aggressive. You're going to have to get James Cook going, catching the ball out of the backfield, getting him on wheel routes and Texas routes and stuff like that. I think it's going to be vital. And also because the Rams don't have Bobby Wagner is not who we used to be. And they don't have the athletes between their linebackers and safeties to hang with the Bills. I think the Bills are a much more athletic team when it comes to offense versus defense.
For sure.
So they I think those deep ends and breaking routes and stuff like that, I think those and drags, I think you dime them up all day.
Well, there's something to be said for allowing Singletary to run the ball and even Zach Moss, but Singletary primarily and do his whole make a guy miss in a phone booth type of a thing, but he's not super quick and he's not super bursty and get the Rams defense to adjust to whatever Singletary's doing and then hand the ball off to Cook and watch him go zing right by you. Right?
Man, I can't wait to see it because he did some dirty stuff to my Wolverines last year, in my final game. So, So I think you're right, Joe. I think, those are important facts. And I got to see James Cook. I got to see it. See it. That's one of the things I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Me too.
So this is the funnest time of the Hump Day Hotline all year long. And we get to do this 17 plus times, which is basically game predictions. Tell us your final score and your stat lines for Josh Allen. So everybody in the comment section gets to play along, and I'll actually post them while we're talking. Whatever you believe the final score is going to be, who's going to be on the winning side of that final score, and then a Josh Allen stat line prediction. And I'm going to let you go first. So everybody in the comment section, play along. And then Sterling, where you at? So you can give reason.
Throw me on, throw me out there first. So I'm going to say Josh Allen's going to have 282 yards passing. Don't ask me where I got the 282. He's going to have three touchdowns. I think it's a 3-touchdown game, 1 interception.
You think he's got a pick in there? To who?
I think he's on.
Who's got it?
I think it's going to be like on a dumb tip or something.
Yeah.
On a tip. I don't think he's going to blatantly throw it to somebody and they're just going to, Ramsey's going to jump around, but it's going to be on a tip or something.
Right.
And I think he'll have, 5 rushes for 50 yards.
5 for 50. Is there a big one in there, or are they all pretty much 10 average?
I think they're going to be around 10 average. I don't think he's going to have a big one.
Gotcha. And then final score?
I'm going to go 31-24 Bills.
31-24 Bills.
I think that's modest, right?
I gave my final score prediction for this game on Monday, and I'm going to stick with it. So my final score prediction for this game is 27-17. I think the Bills win by 2 possessions. I hope and pray to God they do, because every time it's a 1-possession game, I sit there biting my fingernails the whole entire time. Any game when it's 1 possession, just because we're Bills fans. And we're so accustomed and used to giving up that lead, right? That's just who we are. But I've got 27-17 Bills over the Rams. As far as the Josh Allen stat line, I don't know what to make of this game. I think Josh Allen has the opportunity and potential to throw for over 300 yards. I think Gabe Davis could end up with 140 or 160 yards receiving in this game. I think he's going to be targeted a lot in this football game. But when it comes to touchdowns, I like your call. I like Gabe Davis having the first touchdown catch of the season. I'm not really a betting man. I do like to go to the casino and play Hold'em and play blackjack, but I don't do a whole lot of sports betting. But if I was a betting man, that's probably a good parlay bet, right? Where you're adding that onto a couple other things. But yeah, so I'm going to go 310 for Josh Allen, 310 yards passing. Stephon Diggs, I think, will have a quiet but substantial day like he did before, where it's Jalen Ramsey didn't shut him down completely. However, it wasn't a normal Stephon Diggs day. So it turns into one of those, you didn't own me and I didn't own you, but we won. And that's
I think it's a 6-catch, 60 yards, 65 yards and a touchdown. Right.
So Karen Idzik says 31-21 Bills. Seth says Bills 35-27, Josh Allen 3 touchdowns and 3 touchdowns twice. 1 rushing touchdown. Jessica Tennis says 38-17. Do you see the Bills scoring 38?
Joe, I don't know, man. I think it's possible, but
put the league on. You know what I want to do? I want to wake up Friday morning. So I'm going to be up till all ass of the evening tomorrow night for the post game show. So I'm not for you. You're 2 hours behind us, but for me, I'm going to be loading this thing up into podcasts at 3:00 in the morning. Right. So I want to wake up Friday morning at 7, hit Good Morning Football and just bask in the glory of everything that the Bills did in the first game of the NFL. You're so nervous, right? So 42.
I got a question for you though.
Okay, go ahead.
So like before every Bills kickoff, like for me, I am freaking. My stomach is turning. I mean, you would have thought I would have hit a line of Coke. Like I'm so jazzed, bro. Like I did the Coke without the hookers.
I wouldn't know. So.
And it's hard for me to contain everything. Okay, what are you going through right when kickoff happens?
So I am 4 years into a post game show, and I still feel like I don't have a rhythm for taking notes, and literally that's where I'm at. So I have energy and nerves, but there's still an aspect of work. I guess the work piece of it comes first. I'm a huge. Because I have a responsibility, I have an obligation, right? After the game. So the first thing I'm thinking of is, what do I want to chart? What do I want to talk about? And then I fall into this Zen moment of no, like the things will come to you. The profound statements that I make in my post-game show are just going to naturally come. I feel this, I feel that. The Bills did this, the Bills did that. I think they should have, whatever this game is about, yada, yada. Like that stuff comes. So then I'll reassure myself and then I'll start to enjoy the game. I'm going to be nervous because it's always going to walk back to, I still haven't arrived at a point where I trust the Bills to not lay an egg on prime time.
Oh God, why'd you say it? That's what I'm talking about.
Wait, like, time out.
Okay.
However, this Buffalo Bills team and Josh Allen specifically has proven that the lights are not too bright for him. Right? And this team follows their leader. As Josh Allen goes, this team goes. So I would say that, like, my feeling and concern and your feeling and concern is not valid anymore. You're talking about a football team that the last 2 years in a row, Corey Bojorquez jersey or not, 2 years ago, 8 straight, lost in the 9th. Last year, I think they went 8 straight or 7 straight, lost in the 9th or lost in the 8th. This is the team that can play when it matters. So I'm telling you what I'm going to feel. That doesn't mean that that's who this is.
Just as you're saying that, I got heart palpitations. Okay. I'm not well.
Juan Castillo says 41-24 Bills. Josh Allen, 378, 5 touchdowns. If you want to talk about putting the league on notice, that's Nick Wright coming out Friday morning on ESPN and going, Josh Allen's the man.
He's not going to show up. If Josh Allen does that, Nick Wright's going to be sick. He's going to be sick. In the morning. That man's going to be sick.
Riddell Jr. says 24-13 Bills. Buff Hub, rather, our guy, Steve Vegas, says 24-14 Bills. Jay Spencer King says, go Bills. And he says, Sterling. I don't know what he's talking to you about. My sister, that's my sister. That's me in that picture right there. That's my sister, Jamie.
Oh, I know.
33-24. I think that's all the predictions that I have. So final thoughts before we close this thing out?
Get some rest tonight. Everybody get some damn rest tonight because you're going to need it tomorrow. All right. Whatever medication you got to take to sleep, I got to take something. Yeah, I got to either look. Joe asked backstage. He was like, "Yo, what are you drinking?" I'm like, "I'm drinking water." He's like, well, "What? Why are you doing that?" I'm like, "Cause I got to save it for next week. When I come to Buffalo, I have to drink everything."
I asked you if you were on the wagon, and I was going to respect you for being on the wagon. That's what I said. I said, "Are you on the wagon?"
Oh man, I just can't. I can't, dude. I can't. It's Christmas Eve. All the presents are for me. And I don't know how to act. Dude.
It's fair. It's absolutely fair. I don't final thoughts. So you and I are going to be on the pregame show. Who else is going to be joining us tomorrow for the pregame show, for the Intentional Grinding pregame show?
Let's see. Big Newt. Yep. And that's all who's gotten back. So
there's going to be a bevy of, or at least a handful of other content creators that are going to be joining you tomorrow and what time does that start?
So we're going to be starting off at 5 p.m.
5 p.m. And then it's rumored that at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, Jay Spence the King is going to have another pregame show that actually Benny the Butcher is going to be on. And you and I don't have much information about that. We got told that today. As well. He's in the comment section, so maybe if he wants to let us know what's up.
I mean, you're gonna want to watch my boy Jay Spence with Benny the Butcher.
Right. And then at 7:45, Colt Schroeder is going live with the Buffalo Nerd pregame show. We have a chock full of events tomorrow pregame for this Buffalo game. Spence is saying hump that like, and I need Jay Spence in here to yell at me hump day because that's what he always does. But as I'm trying to deliver the information, he's yelling hump day. That's just what he does. So,
hump day.
pretty much. Final thoughts before I read us out and get us out of here?
Tell Bonnie I would love to meet her.
Dude, are we about to fight? She's a great grandma. So that's all you need to know is I'm 49 and she's a great grandma. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been tuned into the inappropriate Hump Day Hotline on this Wednesday night on the Buffalo Rumblings vidcast, vodcast, whatever network, presented by Picasso's Pizza. My name is Joe Miller. I'm one of the hosts of this show. You can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired. That guy over there is sitting in for Jay Spence the King. Sterling, tell them about yourself.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing the Intentional Grinding pregame show every Bills game day. And I'm doing written content as well. You can find that on Buffalo Rumblings. Should have another article coming out here in the next week. And I'll be doing a lot of NFL draft content as well. So keep it locked and loaded here on the Buffalo Rumblings vidcast network. Right? Because I say it's vidcast.
Right. I do the same thing. I mess it up all the time. But Hump Day Hotline, do us a favor before you jump out. Hump that like button one more time. There's a whole bunch of people in here, and we've only got 21 likes, so get our metrics up. And like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that good stuff. Joe Miller, Sterling Furrow, for Jay Spence the King, for all of the Buffalo Rumblings crew. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Go Bills.
Go Bills.